Good morning, everybody. Tony Margaritelli here, Chairman at ICPA. It's the first week in July. We beat the Colombians and on penalties as well. And we beat the Australians 5-0 in the one day, which just goes to show what happens if you don't tamper with the ball. I think it's time for another one of my In Practice blogs. I'd like to bring to your attention a really good article written by Howard Royce, an expert in the field on the construction industry scheme, that's appeared on Accounting Web very recently. It regards the recent ruling in the Supreme Court about gross payment certification and the loss thereof by a company. Please, if you get a moment, take a chance to pop onto the accounting website and have a read of it. It's very good. The reason I'm bringing it attention, not to go into the ins and outs of the case, but all of us in practice know that if you have a company that does not have a gross payment certification and is having CIS deductions from it, to be able to get that money back from HMRC is and has been for many years an absolute nightmare and takes far too long. Yes, you can offset it, but what if you've got nothing to offset it against? Yes, you can set it off against your CT liability, but as I say, what if you've got nothing to set it against, or it's significantly higher than liability? Ultimately, you need that refund back into your account where it belongs. That's why it's so important that if you have clients who have a gross payment certificate status, that they retain that status. The article points out quite simply how bad it can be for any company that doesn't have that status. So please take a moment, review your client base. You're bound to have clients in the construction industry, those that have a gross payment certificate. Check that they're keeping up to date, check that they're not falling behind in making their payments, etc., because HMRC are out and about and they are looking to take that certification away. This could have a terrible impact on your company and in fact on your nerves as you try and get their refunds that are due. So as Howard says, keep your eye on your clients, make sure that if they have a gross payment certification, they retain it. Well, here we are in July, and literally hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of ICPA members have renewed their professional indemnity cover via the ICPA Group Professional Indemnity Scheme. And as I travel around the country, I'm pointing out to people, keep your eye on VAT. Why? Because significant hits on professional indemnity are not coming from income tax, not capital gains tax per se, but significantly they're coming from VAT. Why? Because VAT, it masquerades as a simple tax, doesn't it? It seems ostensibly straightforward, yet if you get any textbook out and marvel and place them side by side, you'll soon see that the VAT book is getting bigger and bigger and bigger and rivaling all the others. If you're involved in anything to do with land and property, if you're involved in anything to do with partial exemption, if you're involved in, let's not even get started on foodstuffs, hot, cold, served, etc., etc. VAT is an absolute minefield for the unwary. Please, if you're in practice, hopefully you are and you're watching this, think carefully before you start giving that advice on VAT. Keep your eye on the obvious, keep your eye on VAT registration limits, etc. But when you come into a topic that you're not sure about, please don't guess to impress, because you're going to end up with a hit on your PI if you get it wrong. VAT is undoubtedly the single most unforgiving tax. So please be wary. Every year, well, certainly for the last 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 years, the ICPA have been proud sponsors of the Small Practice Award at Practice Excellence. And last month, myself, the fabulous Della Hudson, and the impressive Mr. John Stockdyke of Accounting Web got together and we went through all the entrants in the award, and the winners will be announced in September. Every year we do it, and every year we look at, and the entrants for small practice get bigger and bigger and bigger, and there are an awful lot. And it's really great to be able to review all the entrants and read them and see how much small practices are growing, how they're embracing technology, how they're looking for new ways to help their clients through troubled times, how they're giving so much back to the community with tremendous sponsorships and things they're doing all around their towns and their locales. And you know what? It actually does make you feel good to be an accountant. And this year, the first time in my knowledge, all the judges were all in agreement on the ultimate winner, which, believe me, is a first. But it is just heartwarming to see so many practices putting down on paper their views, what they're doing, what they're trying to achieve, and how they're going about it. And as I say, we can do so much to help our clients. We can do so much to help the community that's around us. Never lose sight of that. That's the one thing that came across to me, is how much accountants are still focusing on the local element, are still focusing on businesses within their area. Yes, they're embracing the internet. Yes, they're getting clients from all over the country, possibly, etc., etc. But they are still in a place, and they are focusing on that place and giving value back to that place. And I think that that's something that every practice, no matter how small, can use to their advantage and can help them get bigger and better and grow a reputation within their area. Just think about it.